What's up everyone, it's little me Amo and I'm back with another video. So this video gonna be a bit different. I was having a conversation with one of my subscribers, I forgot their name, I am so sorry, on my second last video for the modern version trailer for The Exorcist. And we were discussing on how I get scared easily, why I find them uncomfortable and weird, and why I don't want to watch them and stuff like that. And I offered, like, let me just make a video to explain everything once and for all instead of us having a huge conversation on the channel, on the video. And they haven't responded yet, which makes sense. But, like, I decided, let me just make the video anyway. So, basically, it revolves around horror. So as for, I don't know what to start with, Exorcist or just horror films in general. Of a thrill. Let's start with Exorcist, because like Exorcist films, I just feel so uncomfortable in the sense that I know exorcists happen in real life. I know that's a real thing. I've watched lots of films that include, lots of horror films that include exorcists, like The Conjuring, all the Conjurings actually. I can't name them all in my head. Those are the ones that just popped up. The Pope's Exorcist, I watched it, but like there are millions more. Possession of Hannah Grace, I think that's the name of that film. I didn't watch the whole thing, just a bit of it. And that's also another iconic horror film, but I will jump into that topic afterwards. But like those films, I know they're based on true stories. I know exorcists do happen in real life. I know it is, well, I can only imagine, not I know, I can only imagine that it's an extremely traumatic experience for everyone who not only witnesses it happening, but also for the person who is experiencing the exorcism. And for that, I get scared easily because like I've never seen it in real life, but how the films portray it, they portray it so well, and the actors who do it, like they are so amazing at it. I give them all props, especially for the Possession of Hannah Grace and The Exorcist, because those ones are very, very loved. Those are one of the iconic horror movies that people that say are amazing and terrifying at the same time. So like they act it so well that it is so disturbing and creepy for me, in the sense of like, I know this is acting and I know it ain't real, but at the same time I'm just there like, I don't trust you that much anymore. Like, you were playing this role a bit too well. Even if it's like the Conjuring 3, because I have a bad tendency to like look up, if it's based on a true story, like maybe look up the history behind the true story or watch some previous videos. I did that with all the Conjurings. I messed myself up that way. So like, you played the role real well, and even if you weren't doing all of the stuff, I was watching you do in the film. It was you doing the stuff. It was the actor who was doing all of this stuff. So on one hand, it's like, congratulations, you impressed me. Wow. On the other hand, it's like, we need to go to a church to get you, blessed or something, because you did the role way too well. Like, it just creeps me out on how, like, I get creeped out, but at the same time I feel sorry, and there's just lots of emotions pile up when it comes to exorcisms. And then the fact, like, the eyes change color, that's another thing. For The Exorcist, the reason I do not like it is, aside from people always saying, it's the scariest horror film, it's the scariest horror film. Boy, I don't know, everyone, I don't know how scary y'all would consider Insidious, but that is the scariest horror film for me. The Insidious 1 and 2, and then 5. That is the scariest horror film for me, and then can come The Grudge, then The Conjuring, whatever, but those two are the scariest for me. So the fact everyone always like praises in The Exorcist and The Possession of Hannah Grace, and I'm not wearing my cross necklace, which I need to find, but anyway, not anyway, I'm gonna do a prayer after this. But like, also, what's the famous, The Shining? That's another loved horror film. I can't think of any other ones right now aside from the usual Conjuring universe. But like, those three are extremely loved and talked about, and I'm proud of the success of all those ones. But at the same time, I'm just there like, no, like, I get scared real easily. So like, back to another conversation I had with other people, other subscribers. or potential subscribers. I'm not sure if they all subscribe to me on my other Exorcist videos on how they thought that I was gonna watch the Exorcist films. And it's just like no, guys, I am not that strong-willed into watching horror films. Like I love watching. Well, not love. I enjoy. For some odd reason, I enjoy watching horror films. It did take time to grow into because I never finished Insidious the first time I watched it. It took me 4 times to finish watching it. Because at the same time I was young, so always whenever there was a horror movie playing with my sister, I would run to the other room and I would watch Scooby-Doo Where Are You? Or whichever Scooby-Doo was on TV because your girl loved Scooby-Doo. And I say that with pride. I say that with so much pride. Like, you guys can judge me all you want. You can judge me, you can mock me, you can laugh at me. But I am proud of that. Like, Scooby-Doo was my safe one because in the end, I knew, like, they aren't real ghosts. So, like, whereas all horror films, they are ghosts. And that's just messing me up. But the weird thing is, because I did start thinking about this today, and I'm just thinking, why why am I so interested in horror? Because I might like them, but like at the same time, why am I so interested in them? Because I struggled starting to watch it from the get go, and then there's also these 2 podcasts I listen to who discuss horror, and the 2 podcasts I listen to is Stories with Sapphire and The Chilling Eye photos for both of them. If you guys want to check them out, Stories with Sapphire I discovered through watching Korea's Kitchen with these spooky scary Sundays. Spooky scary Sundays. Like, if you know why I'm putting quotations on that, then you know. But like, and then The Chilling I found through Stories with Sapphire. I watched both of them on Spotify. Point being is, both podcasts they tell scary stories. So Stories with Sapphire, I'm not getting paid to promote these, by the way, and I know this sounds weird, like why are you switching and talking about this, but I just want to explain myself. So Stories with Sapphire, she receives stories and messages and emails and whatever way from other people who experience scary stuff, and then she tells them on her podcast. And usually hers are in the Philippines or America. Those Asia, somewhere around Asia, but most of the time is the Philippines. And then as for The Chilling, the lady is discussing, I forgot her name, I feel so bad. The lady is discussing the first 13, how she was living in a haunted place, haunted apartment, dormitory, whatever it was, I don't remember. And it was creepy throughout most of it. Like, Stories with Sapphire, I'm used to. And the reason, like, not all stories get to me is because I'm just there like, why would you do this? You know, those moments where you just question, like, this is a dumb move. Why would you do this, that? That's why it don't scare me that much. The Chilling, however, because it happened to her, and like from chapters 1 to 9, or episode 1 to 9, it was creepy, but it was a tolerable creepy where I could still judge. Like, 1 was sad, but like from 2 to 9, it was creepy. Chapter 10, that was when she discussed, like, she was like, this chapter episode is going to discuss about real events. And I was just like, that's what this whole thing has been about. But like from 10, that's when she brought up and The Exorcist and actually told the true story behind The Exorcist and other people who were possessed. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I only watched maybe 10 minutes of it. There's 31 minutes left. I still can't get the courage to watch the rest of that one. But like from 10 on to the end, it's just become seriously scary for me. Like, I am struggling with, I was stalling the entire day or yesterday. I'm probably gonna be stalling when this comes out to finish it. And then she released chapter 2, which surprised me even more in a sense, but like, we ain't gonna dive into that. But yeah, that's another reason, like, I don't know why I'm so attracted to it. I feel like for me, it's a situation of like, I know I am not the only one experiencing whatever my emotions. Like, maybe it'd be one other person who's experiencing like confusion, anger, fear. I don't know, but I know deep down I am not the only person experiencing this. And like, in a way, I guess it comforts me. It keeps me like focused on other stuff. I don't listen to other podcasts about scary stuff. Those are the only 2. I do have normal podcasts, just like normal podcasts, just by the way. And I feel that goes the same with horror films, and that goes the same with, okay, horror films. Sometimes I'm alone in the cinema, so I'm not gonna lie about that. But also, that is the same with the YouTubers I watch. Now, as for the YouTubers I watch, the main ones: Poised, Dashi Games, Corey X Kitchen. Those are the main three. Well, also, well, Rico the Giant as well. Those are the main four, but it's mainly Poised, Dashi, and Corey, because Rico doesn't release that much. But basically, Poise was the first one I found, and I remember this so well. And again, I know the backstory is unnecessary for you guys, but like I just want to explain a bit more. Maybe it can give you a better, maybe it can give a better understanding for those who are wondering like stuff about me. But like Poise, I discovered first in 2016 when my friends and I were bored. The Gear VR was still very new, so we were just looking up people who played with the Gear VR, and then I decided to look up on my own, and that's when I discovered Poised. And I remember the first video I saw of his. He, of course, his channel began way before 2016, but like the first video I saw of his was the elevator video where he wore the goggles and you have to type in, which is actually based on a true story because I learned this year through Stories with Sapphire that it's actually a true story, the game he was playing. They just never said that in the game. But like, yeah, in the hotel, it has to have like a certain amount of floors. I think 13 floors, maybe 17, I don't know the number. And then you have to press the code, you press each number by a specific order, and then if it does work, then you travel to a different realm, and then if you want to go back, then you have to do the exact same numbers backwards. So that's the first game I remember. It's Elevator something. And then I've watched all these scary videos. The jump scares have gotten me at the same time they've gotten him. Sometimes it's because of what happens in the game. Sometimes it's his screams that get to me. But at the same time, because I've watched lots of his videos, like not all of the jump scares get me. Like it's very rare. So I feel like a part of me is like worn out that fear as well. That's another reason why I'm also like chill and stuff like that, and watching horror movie trailers and stuff like that. But like same with Corey, same with Dashi. Like I started their videos. I might have jumped in the beginning, but the jump scares have gone down. Well, maybe Dashi. Like this, I still don't. The guys still get me here and there. So I feel it's because they've dialed down when I'm watching the gamers. Like I'm okay with listening to the podcast. And as for the trailers, I feel like confident enough in knowing like it's real. There's a 90% chance it can be real. But because it's never happened around me, or guys, I'm looking at my power bank if you wonder why I keep looking at that. Because it's never happened around me, and I pray it doesn't. Please, please, please. The fear is less. Whereas trailers, if you know it scares you, then you know it's good. And then that also involves the gaming part of my channel because I have played some games, horror games, and personally, from the looks of it, horror games. Okay, from hang on, I know not anymore, but like back then when I thought of the idea of making this game a gaming channel, a full blown gaming channel, horror games seemed to be the in thing, and people love to see like the gamers get scared, and I really get confused, but at the same time I understand because there actually is a video and a footage I haven't released about me playing a game. But like people seem to enjoy those kind of stories, those kind of games, and I was just there like, okay, try to build up some courage, but at the same time I'm just there like, what other games can I play? Because aside from you're gonna not being able to afford every game, there's those games, simulation games, where it's just like, oh, okay. And then Minecraft, which I am not joining. I am so sorry to everyone who loves Minecraft, but that is not me at all. Also, I can do Sims. Yeah, upon me, I can do Sims. Like, if I was to play like another game right now, which I already have, would be a Sims game, and I would start a Sims family. That I would do with semi-pride because the game has got tutorial. Y'all would see like the anger management side of me if I do a Sims game. Yeah, I guess I can do one episode of Sims. But like, yeah, basically, The reason I think I'm chill with horror is because over time I started watching more horror movies. I even started watching from 2016 during my high school phase. I'd even watch horror movies alone in my room, earphones in, lights out. I would just watch them, like get scared a little bit, but at the same time it'd just be like a no. Only when I went to cinemas by myself to watch horror movies, that's when the problem came in. Because, like, where's my phone? Hang on. For some odd reason, I decided to make a list. Oh, and I don't know if I said this in the intro earlier of the video, but like, I made my pages because it is 2 minutes past 2 minutes before midnight. Oh, that's it. So the first horror movie I saw in the cinema alone. Is this the first one? The first movie I saw in the cinema, I wasn't alone. I was with The Conjuring 2. And it scared me, but you're with someone and it's a Conjuring film, so at the end of the film I sprinted out. Like the lady was laughing at me when I exited the room, but no, 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 no. The first horror film I watched alone in the cinema was It. Now the problem with that one was my friend had a huge phobia of clowns. So I feel that also messed up with my mind, and it's so funny because I remember watching it and I was just like, aside from jumping, because I usually jump, I don't scream that much. But I was jumping, I was cursing more because I didn't want to jump. Because when someone jumps, you can feel it on that row. And there were cute guys at the end of the row, and I didn't want to show that fear. And then the second, then the first horror movie I watched alone in the evening was The Conjuring Me 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. And I know people say it wasn't that scary, it was more detective and stuff like that. Okay, let that one. I just like to clarify. I watch detective shows for a living. Like, that's usually my interest in stuff. But I had done so much research on The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, like the true story behind it. I looked it up, I did this, that, this, that. It was the first time I was watching it. It wasn't intended for me to watch it in the evening, but I watched it in the evening. I was alone. I'm not gonna lie to you. I brought my teddy bear with me, my trusted teddy bear with me, because I needed to have company. And like, there was an exorcist. It started with an exorcist, so that's another reason. Then The Pope's Exorcist, which was I found a bit funny. Then Insidious the Red Doll. I think I've talked about it. But also another thing is the reason most of the trailer reactions are horrors is because I've watched millions of trailers this year. I've watched trailers for all the films I have seen so far. Like the Meg 2. Oh no, that one I did post. Oh, and the Meg 2 is amazing, guys. It's like the first one, but it's funnier. There was surprisingly more action. It was more loving. Oh, my heart melted. I love it, love it, love it. But like trailers like the first trailer of Fast X. I'm trying to think of trailers I didn't post. Mission Impossible, I never showed that one because some of the trailers I watch when in the living room when I'm with my family, and so that I don't record. It was just like a bad timing situation. So I will try also to record me reacting to more than just horror movie trailers. Um, but yeah, I think this explained everything about me with horrors. So if I missed something out, which I may or may not have, I'm sorry, but y'all can tell me after this. So enjoy your day, enjoy your night, whatever time zone you're in. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, don't forget to tell your friend who might give it a thumbs up. Peace.